Hi, today we'll do an example in Java. We'll be implementing a class named Parade using an array list. So we will manage instances of class clown, and each clown only needs to be identified by a string for their name. Always join a new clown to the end of a parade. Only the clown at the head of the parade, i.e. the first one, can leave the parade. In addition, we'll write a method called isFront that takes a clown as a parameter and returns true if the past clown is at the front of the parade, otherwise return false. So we'll create a test application to demonstrate building a parade of 3 or 4 clowns, and we'll just name them. Then we'll remove 1 or 2 and add another 1 or 2. And we'll test the isFront method by passing different clowns to the method. So we'll first start in the clown class. So here, we'll just start here. We'll start with just defining the class. So public class clown. It's not going to extend or implement anything. There's nothing to import either. So we'll just create some private variables. So private string name. So private string name, private int ID, and private double size. Then we'll just create the constructor. So public clown. Then we'll say string. It'll take some parameters. So string name, int ID, and double size, so the same name. We'll use the this keyword to instantiate the variables, so this dot name. This dot name equals to name. This dot ID equals to ID. And this dot size equals to size. Then we'll create an accessor method. So public string get name. Then we'll just return name. Same for the rest of them. So public int get ID. Say get name, yeah, get ID. We'll return ID. Then public double get size. We'll return size. And then we'll just create a toString as well. We'll override the toString from the object class. So public string toString. And we'll return name.toString plus ID plus size. Then we'll also override the equals method. So public boolean equals. And it takes an object O as a parameter. We'll say if O instance of clown. So if object O is an instance of clown, or is an object of class clown, then we'll say clown C is equal to a casted clown to O. We could have said obj instead of O, and obj2, but that's okay. And we'll say return this dot get name. So return this dot get name dot equals C dot get name. and this .getID equals to c.getID, and this .getSize is equal to c.getSize. This .getName dot equals this .getName dot equals, there you go. So then else return false, else return false. Might give me an error here saying that's because there's only one case. So there's only one other case, so if it's either true or it's false here, but we'll just see if that works. So basically all it's saying is so when we take equals, when we use the object to call the equals method, it's going to take an object as a parameter. So if we say clown1 dot equals clown2, so if O is an instance of a clown, so if then clown C is equal to casted clown object O. So if an object O is an object of class clown, then if the object that we're passing in as a parameter is an object of class clown, like if they're holding the same things, the same attributes, then clown C is equal to clown O. So we'll go over this when we test it again, when we start testing it. So after that we'll create our parade. So I've already created 4 classes. So we were working in the clown class. So this one's public class clown, and then I've already created a parade. So if you're using intellij, you can just right click src new and then Java file and just type in parade.java, save it. If you're using Eclipse, it should be similar. I haven't used Eclipse in a while, but you can do that. VS Code should be the same thing. Pretty similar. So we'll just start with public class parade. I think we're using an array here. No, we're using an array list, sorry. So we'll have to import something. So we'll import java.util.ArrayList. So here we'll create some private variables. So private static array list of clown objects. So we'll put them in the generic as a generic type, and then we'll call it parade. So basically parade is an array list, and we're going to store the clown objects inside. So then we'll say, actually we'll create some more methods. Private int top, and then we'll create the constructor. Public parade. No parameters this time. We'll set top equal to 0. And then parade equals to new array list of type object clown. So in angular brackets, it's storing objects of type clown with no parameters because actually we did take a parameter. Oh, sorry, the array list doesn't take parameters, so that's fine. We haven't created any actual clowns yet. Saying there's an error here. Something with this. That's okay, we'll come back if there's an error. So we'll then system.out. We'll print the parade initially, just to show that it's empty. So we created an array list, so ArrayList clown parade equals, and then we said parade equals new array list of type clown. So basically it's just saying the same thing as this. So it's saying array list of clown, array list of clown parade is equal to our new array list of type clown. That's all it's saying. Like if we would have did that, that would have been fine. So we'll just put it here, and we'll just call this parade 1, right? Then it's fine. And we could have said parade 1 dot add, and we could have just added a clown. So it's the same thing. Instead we just broke it up into 2 lines, and we just put a static and a private in front of it. So it's private, and then it's static too. I don't think we actually need it static, but we'll just keep it like that for now. Because when I put this code on, when I shared this code, I think it was on GitHub maybe, or a website like that, like on Stack, something like that. People are asking me why I did it on static. So I think it does need to be, but it's okay. So other than that, we'll just start creating the methods. So public void add clown. So we'll just add a clown C. We'll call it clown C. So clown is an object type. We created it. It's our own. It's not built in. Excuse me. And all we're doing is just calling the ArrayList method add. Excuse me. So it's just saying parade.add and add that clown. That's all it's doing. Technically we don't really need to use this. We could have just added it, but we're just doing it this way. So then we'll say top plus plus. So top's going to increment by 1 every time we add. It's going to keep track of our array list. And we'll have a remove clown method. Whoops, sorry. Excuse me, so public void remove clown. And it's going to not take any parameters. So we'll say if parade.is empty, then we'll throw our exception that we haven't created yet, empty collection exception, and then we'll just say ArrayList. We can create the exception right now. So I've created a class called empty collection exception.java. So I'll just write it again. So public class empty collection exception, and we'll have to extend runtime exception. Extends runtime exception. And then this class just calls the constructor, so public empty collection exception. And it just takes a string message, or it takes a string as a parameter. We'll just call it collection. And then we'll call it what I like how to call the exception constructor is that you just use the super reference. And here we'll just put the in quotes plus collection plus is empty. So we're just telling the user basically that the array list is empty. I think there's a spelling mistake here. Possibly. So public class empty collection. Yeah, there is a spelling mistake. So it should be okay now. So we'll just go back to the other class. What class was it? The parade one. So we threw the new empty collection exception. We passed in the string. And then we'll just remove now. So we'll remove we'll call our array list, so parade dot remove. And we'll remove 0. Index 0. And we'll say top minus minus. So it's going to go back to the other index since we're removing 1. Seems to be a missing bracket here. Somehow we'll just fix that. So public remove, so parade.remove 0 and then top minus minus. And then we'll create another method here. So just public void display. And then we're just gonna print out the array list. So system.out.println and then just pass in parade. Then we'll just create another accessor method, so public void. Just call it get data, and then we'll just return parade.getZero. We don't even have to type return, so we'll just say parade.getZero. Whoops. Was there method here? Oh, it's ignored. Okay, that's okay. Then we'll create a setData method too. I'm not sure why I created this. Maybe just for convenience, because I wrote this code like a while ago. So then we'll just say public void setData. Then we'll just say parade.set 1, so index 1 to new clown. We'll just call the clown Claire, and then 2.5. No, sorry. So 2 has an ID of 2, and then a double. It's holding a size of 5.0. Then we'll just print out parade again. And then we'll just create another accessor method here below. So we'll just say public int get top. Then we'll just return top. And then we'll create a boolean method. Public boolean is front. We'll just pass in the clown C. And then we'll just return if parade, so return parade is empty. So then we'll put a not in front of that. So if parade is not empty, then we'll say and c dot equals parade dot get 0. So basically all it's saying is this method returns true if parade is not empty and the clown passes a parameter. So we're saying if parade is not empty, so it returns true. I'll just write it out in a comment. So returns true. So when we're just calling is front, remember when you just call a Boolean method by its name, it's just saying that it returns true. And then in this case, it returns true if parade is not empty and clown object passed equals the clown at the front of the parade. So that's all it's saying is it's if it equals the clown at the front of our array list. Our array list, so it would be the 0th index, the first index, which is index 0. So after all that, what do we know? We do the clown class parade and the empty collection exception. So we can just write the main class now. It's almost done. Except I think I put a lot of stuff in this one. Clown main. So we'll just say, we'll just import java.util.ArrayList. Whoops, don't need the brackets, and then we'll say public class main. So public class main, and then we'll just do the command line. Whoops, I spelled it wrong, sorry. So public class main, then the command line public static void main, pass in string array args, and then we'll try. So then try, and then we'll create a parade. So parade circus equals new parade. I'll just call it circus. So we'll just type a comment here. So clowns are added to the parade, and then clowns take. So just our clown takes 3 parameters. A name, ID, and then a size. So we created our circus object. So we called our class parade. We named our object circus, and then we set it equal to new and then parade with no parameters because our there's no constructor for parade. We don't need to input an object, but there is a constructor for clown, so we'll have to input some attributes for that object, for those objects. So now we'll say circus.add clown. So circus.add clown. So in our clown class, in our parade class, we have a method called add clown, and it takes a clown as a parameter. So it takes a clown as a parameter. So we'll say new clown, and then we'll pass in some more. We're basically creating this object within a method. So just do another set of parentheses. So new clown, and then 2 more parentheses. We'll just call the clown Bobby. Just say that he's holding 9 for an ID, and then holding 12.0 for a size. And then we'll just do some more. So circus.add clown. Then just say new clown. Just call the clown Claire. Say she's holding an ID of 2 and a size of 11.0. Except there's a mistake here somewhere. A typo. Forgot the string here, sorry. So we'll just add another one, circus.add clown, then new clown, and then we'll just call the clown Tony. Say that Tony has an ID of 6 and a size of 10.0. And then just one more, circus.add clown, new clown, and then just put like Sarah, whatever you want, and then ID of 3, and then an ID of a size of 5.0. So now we'll just display the array list basically. So we're going to display the parade, and then technically our parade is an array list. So we'll just we don't have to put that. We could just say circus.display. Then we'll say we'll just call the isFront method. So we'll system.out.println, and then we'll just say circus isFront. So it's going to ask, it's basically going to return true or false if this clown is in the front of the array list or in the front of the parade. So new clown, and then we'll pass in the same clown that we already created. So it's going to check if it's there. So we'll just say 9 and then 12.0. And we'll just call the getTop method. So system.out.println, and then we'll just say circus.getTop. So it's going to get the index at the top of the array list. So remember, you can only add and remove an array list from only one side. So it's going to just check what objects at that index. Then we'll remove 2 of them. We'll just say circus.remove clown. We'll do that again. Then we'll say circus.display. We'll just display it another time. And then we'll system.out.println circus.getTop. Then we'll add some more. Circus.add clown, new clown, and then we'll just say the clown's name is Simon, an ID of 4 and a size of 9. And then we'll just add another one, so circus.add clown, new clown. So we'll just say the clown's name is Holly. And just say that she has a size of 2, and she's holding she has an ID of 2 and she's holding a size of 8.0. Then we'll say circus.display again, so we'll just call the display method. Then we'll system.out.println circus.getTop. Oh, whoops, not in a string, just without the string. So circus.getTop. Then we'll ask if it's if they're in the front of the array list. So we'll say system.out.println, and then we'll just say circus.isFront new clown. So the clowns that we're going to pass it's just asking if they're in the front of the array list so if they're in the front of the parade, but technically we're asking if it's just in the front of the array list. It's just checking if it's there. You can just do the same, and then you can write whatever names you want, but I'm just checking for these ones. So I'll just say circus.isFront, and I'll say new clown. And then I'll just say Tony with a E instead of a Y. And then just has an ID of 6, and then a size of 10.0 again. Then we'll system.out.println circus.isFront, new clown, and then we'll just type in Tony again, ID of 6, and size of 10.1 instead of 10.0. Oh, whoops, I forgot to make that capital. And then we'll just check for the last one. So system.out.println circus.isFront, and say new clown, and then just check if Holly is at the front. Then we'll just say Holly has an ID of 2 and holding a size of 8.0. Then after that, we'll just outside of that method, we'll just catch for a null pointer. So catch null pointer exception. We'll just call it E. Now I'm going to say system.out.println, just say that it was a null pointer. We can also say e.getMessage, and then e.printStackTrace. Then we'll just catch for an index out of bounds exception. So catch index out of bounds exception. You can call it E2 or E. You can still call it E, I think. So we'll just say system.out.println index out of bounds, and we'll just say e2.getMessage, and then e2.printStackTrace. So we'll just catch one more. So catch illegal argument exception. We'll call it E3. And say E3.getMessage. Actually, no, we can print out a string. Just say that it was a legal argument. So system.out.println legal argument, and we'll just call our exception E3, then dot get message. So it'll print out the message, and then we'll say E3 dot print stack trace. So if it'll tell us where the exception occurred if it occurs. And then that's it. There's probably a mistake somewhere, so just try to run it. So just save it and then run it. So there's just add a comma on line 22 and then run it again. So on line 34, get name, this dot get name, One sec, let me just check what happened there. Return this .get name. Oh, we forgot the brackets here, so just add some parentheses there. Save it and then run it again. Another spelling mistake. Circus. Okay, so it works now. So when the program started, it just printed out the empty array list to just show that it was empty. And then we added the 4 clowns in and put them in the array list. Then we asked if the Bobby's at the front of the array list. It said true. It got the top, which is 4. Then it printed out 2 more clowns. And then, wait, so after that, display true, display true is front, true. Get top, prints 4, then we remove 2 clowns. Then we asked to print out the, so we removed 2 clowns. I think we printed out which ones we removed. We'll just check in parade. Parade.remove clown. So in parade, so it removes from index 0 because the question just wanted us to remove from the front of the array list. So that's why Bobby and Claire disappeared. So then it was just left with Tony and Sarah. Then it displayed it again, so it just printed it out for us. Then we displayed the top, which is 2 now because we subtracted 2 from 4. Then we added, so we displayed it, we got the top, and then we added 2 more clowns. Then we displayed it again. Then we asked if they were in front and it said false, so it said true, and then false, 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 and then that's it. So we'll just go back to the Boolean method equals, so we overrid that method, we passed in an object, O, we could have called it obj, but we just said if O is an instance of, so trying to highlight instance of to see if it will say what it is, the method definition. Why isn't it coming up? So I'm gonna try to just search it, so hopefully the camera doesn't stop. So I'll just say instance of Java method. So the Java instance of operator is used to test whether the object is an instance of the specified type, so class or subclass or interface. It is also known as a type comparison operator because it compares the instance with type. It returns either true or false. So basically it's just saying if object O is a clown object, then clown C, or so if it is an object of the clown class, or if it is a clown object, then we're going to say clown C is equal to clown O. So it's just casting clown to this object parameter. we might have been able to just put a clown in here, and then it just returns this .get name. So it returns the first object that we passed, .get name. It's asking if it equals the get name that we're comparing to. So where do we compare? Parade. So when we call the equals method, when do we call the equals method? Equals, so yeah, so in the isFront. So when we call isFront, so if it's asking if the clown is the same, basically, if it equals that clown. But the thing is, we have three attributes for this, a string, an int, and a double. So it's checking if all that data is the same. So like when we say here, system.out.println circus.isFront, new clown, and then Bobby 9 and 12.0. What line is that? So we add the clowns, we display it, and then we ask if circus.isFront, new clown, Bobby, so at the front of our array list. So we'll go back to the isFront, so in parade. Then we go into the clown class. So it's asking if the object that we created, the get name, so if it's basically getting the get name from the first object that we created, which is Bobby. Then it's asking if it's equal to the one that we just created right now, this parameter here, the one that we passed in. Where do we? So isFront, then isFront takes an object too. So in here's where we're passing the object. Then we're asking if the names are the same, and if the IDs are the same, and if the size is the same. That's all it's doing. But then instead of using the equals method for the string, we use just the equals operator, like not the word. So that because we're comparing an int here, so they're numbers, so you can just compare them like that. And then for the double, it's also a number that we could just compare it with that. So it's just saying if this .getID is equal to c.getID and this .getSize is equal to c.getSize. So it's just going through the attributes and comparing them one by one. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you next time. Okay, take care.